Imagine holding just 1 gram of gold in your hand. It doesn't look like much. On Earth, it's worth around $100. Small enough to fit on your fingertip, easy to buy, easy to carry. But what if I told you that the exact same gram of gold could become one of the most expensive objects ever transported by humans? Not because gold suddenly becomes more valuable, but because of where you're taking it. Mars, a frozen desert. When most people think about gold, they think of jewelry, coins, or luxury. But in space, gold has a completely different purpose. Gold is one of the best electrical conductors on Earth. Unlike many other metals, it doesn't rust or corrode. That makes it incredibly reliable in the harsh environment of space. Temperatures can swing from over 120 degrees Celsius in sunlight to below minus 100 degrees in the shadows. Most metals expand, contract, or slowly degrade. Gold doesn't. That's why engineers use it in satellites, spacecraft, and critical electronic systems. In fact, even the James Webb Space Telescope uses a thin layer of gold on its mirrors. Not because it looks beautiful, but because gold reflects infrared light better than almost any other material. On Earth, replacing a damaged electronic component is easy. On Mars, there is no repair shop. There is no next-day delivery. Every component has to work perfectly. The first time. Here's where things get really interesting. The biggest cost isn't the gold itself. It's getting that gold to Mars. Think about everything that has to happen before a single gram can even touch the Martian surface. First, it has to be launched into Earth's orbit. Then it must travel millions of kilometers through deep space. Finally, it has to survive one of the most dangerous parts of the mission: landing on Mars. Mars has an atmosphere, but it's too thin to slow a spacecraft like Earth's atmosphere does. Too much heat, too much speed. And one small mistake means total mission failure. Every extra gram adds weight. More weight means more fuel. More fuel means larger rockets. Larger rockets mean higher costs. Suddenly, that tiny piece of gold isn't just a piece of metal anymore. It's cargo crossing an entire planet and an entire solar system. But can we actually estimate what that cost might be? Let's do the math. And the numbers are shocking. So, how much could 1 gram of gold actually cost on Mars? Let's break it down. The gold itself is surprisingly cheap, around $100 for a single gram. That's not the problem. The real challenge begins the moment you decide to leave Earth. Every launch requires years of planning. Powerful rockets, highly trained engineers, precision manufacturing, and enormous amounts of fuel. Then comes the journey through deep space, a trip that can take between 6 and 9 months. During that time, every system on board must keep working perfectly. Finally, the spacecraft has to land safely on Mars. If anything goes wrong, everything is lost. Suddenly, that tiny 1 gram piece of gold isn't just worth its market price. It carries a share of an incredibly expensive mission. That's why its effective delivered cost on Mars could be thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on future launch technology and mission design. And if that gram is urgently needed to repair life support systems, its value could become almost impossible to measure. But here's the biggest twist. What if humans start mining gold on Mars? Could gold actually become cheaper there than it is on Earth? Up to this point, we've assumed that gold has to be transported from Earth. But what if that's only true in the beginning? Scientists believe Mars may contain valuable metals beneath its surface, including gold. We don't know exactly how much, because no one has explored deep enough to find out. But imagine this: 50 years from now, humans have built cities on Mars. Massive mining machines work day and night. Factories refine metals directly on the planet. Rockets no longer carry gold from Earth. They carry people, food, and technology instead. Suddenly, gold is no longer rare on Mars. It's local, easy to mine, easy to use. While on Earth, gold is still limited. This creates an incredible possibility. Gold could actually become cheaper on Mars than on Earth, not because it's less valuable, but because the cost of getting it disappears. But if gold becomes common on Mars, then what becomes the most valuable resource? Surprisingly, it isn't gold. It's something far more important. In the end, this was never really a story about gold. It was a story about survival. On Mars, water may be worth more than gold. Oxygen could be priceless. Food might become the true currency of the first colonies. Gold will still matter. It will still power electronics, spacecraft, and advanced technology. But the first people on Mars won't ask, "How much gold do we have?" They'll ask, "Do we have enough water? Enough oxygen? Enough food to survive another week?" Because on a distant world, survival always comes before wealth. So, would 1 gram of gold be worth millions on Mars? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing is certain: the first gram of gold that reaches Mars won't just be a piece of metal. It will become a symbol of humanity's greatest journey. If humanity ever builds a civilization on Mars, everything we know about value will change. So here's another question. If gold isn't the most valuable resource on Mars, what is? Let me know your answer in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey, subscribe. Because in the next episode, we'll answer another impossible question. How much would a single bottle of water cost on Mars?